Hey everyone, welcome to Growing Up Chestnut. I'm Mike. This is my sister
Becky.
And then we have the other Becky here, Greg. So I have both my sisters here today. It's so great. So, hi Greg. Are you happy to be on the show with us today?
I'm happy all the time.
You're happy all the time.
Like
You have to
Bozo
talk
show.
in the mic, Greg. They
Very
got to
positive
hear you.
person.
I feel like I'm on Bozo. Hey, Greg, do you like being on the show?
Hey, do you remember when Greg was on Bozo the Clown?
I do. Oh, yeah. Do
Wait,
you remember? You
You don't have your
I don't
backstory.
remember.
No,
I just
wasn't on Buzzard. No.
No, but you were one of the contestants. You were one of the
Yes, he
home
was.
people. And didn't the guy win all 6 buckets or whatever it was? How many?
You're talking about one of the highlights of my life. Yeah. He won to number 5. There were 6 buckets, and he got number 5.
Oh,
You
so
got a
close
hoppity
to
hop. You got a hoppity hop.
hoppity hop.
I remember that was great.
You
I still think about that.
Greg, I know you're not
One of
used to
those-
being on the air, but we got to use our mics because Becky paid a lot of money for those.
Well,
So it was the Bozo the Clown. I was on. Romper
everybody
Room.
watched that show when I was a kid. Remember, everybody
But they-
went home at 9. When was it? 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
And everybody had to watch Bozo the Circus. Bozo
Yes.
Circus.
Bozo the clown.
Bozo.
Bozo's
the Clown.
Circus is on the air. That's how it said.
Yes, that's right. And remember they had Wayne Rayner back then that did all the cartoons. What was that guy's name?
Well, that was the morning show.
The morning show. And then Romper Room. I got to be on Romper Room, where she
No,
said,
Did we-
she was saying-
you weren't
she
on
said
Romper.
Michael.
I was,
You were in
Yeah,
it?
she said,
Yeah,
I
'cause she
see
was at a
Michael, I see
store.
Becky.
and me and Wade Fisher, Karen and Mom took me and
What?
Wade.
I never heard this.
Oh yeah, we went to.
Well, that's what happened. You were a child star, and we know
I-
what happens to child stars.
I know. We're
The
prodigies.
rest of their life is messed up.
I think that you guys had that covered for me pretty well. So, Greg, we've Becky has shared a lot about you on the show, and I have defended you tremendously
Thank you.
on all this.
Thank you, Mike.
You know, I have your back.
Yeah, he had your back.
But we talked about one of our favorite
I know
stories
you
was
admire me, and I appreciate that.
one of our favorite stories was when Mom got the video camera, got the videotape out from underneath your bed for all of us to watch at church.
Well, that was for your event, wasn't it? Yeah. Mom, we ran out of videotape. You're going to videotape an event.
You know,
Why,
she had
why
to
don't you?
crawl. Didn't she have to crawl way under your bed?
She goes, I'll find one. Yeah.
And there was all those in the living room.
Well,
That's okay.
okay. So I remember the story is Mike's runs out of videotape, and there. What you had a mud wrestling, and I don't understand this.
Mud wrestling. It wasn't- it was
Girls
the-
mud wrestling for a Christian teen
It
event.
was the world's largest food fight, Greg. That's what we were
I
doing.
think it turned into mud wrestling.
Well, that was probably in your head, but yes.
Mush wrestling by the time they got it. Ooh.
Okay, and then so Mike goes, "Oh, I ran out of.
I need a
film."
tape. I need a videotape, Mom.
And I see Mom go, "I'll get you one." So she comes out with a videotape, and it's like, okay, yeah. There's plenty of videotapes all over the house. You know, it's like probably all kinds of empty videotapes. You
In
know,
the family room.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was the one that she most focused on.
And that one, okay. So here's the story, or maybe you shouldn't give it the punch. That's kind of the
You
punchline.
want to tell the story?
So
because Mike
anyways,
already told his
so
story.
then, so then, you know, it happens that it's.
Afterglow
it's
is
an
when
embar-
we started watching it.
But I hid that tape for a reason because I didn't
It
want
was
to say.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. So here's the background of it. You know, so I work nights, and so I get home at 11 o'clock, work all day, 2 to 11, and all night. You know, you have all these infomercials. Da, 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 you know, buy this, buy that, buy. So there's an infomercial they kept running all the time about hair growth. You know, and I go, yeah, I think I am receding. You know, oh man. And so they had this stuff. You know, buy this and your hair grow. And I go, okay, I got money to blow. You know, I'm a single guy. So I buy this hair growth stuff, and they tell you put it on here, and you know, and so I go, I'm gonna see if this really works. So I get the video camera out, and in the mirror, you know, I'm late at
In
night.
the
I'm-
bathroom.
Okay, here's the beginning. Yeah, in my pajamas or something. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, but I'm putting the camera on there. I'm like, okay, this is before shot. And I'm like this, you know, doing. Nobody's ever going to see this. So I don't care. You know, my hair's
I remember Ted coming in going, Mike, you need to get in here now. You need to get it. Your brother's in the bathroom. Oh, we were at Wayne and Charlotte Smith's house with the youth group going to watch the mud fight. And there's my brother on tape. And then you're like, it was so funny.
So that what's the next day or something?
The next Wednesday night.
Well, no, I mean, it was the next day because that was like Saturday and it was like Sunday. And everybody's coming to church going, Greg! I'm like, Greg, why am I so funny? I know I'm funny, but I'm not that funny.
Your hair looks good, Greg.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And I go, thanks. Yeah, okay. Oh, and then Ted's telling me, oh, man, I about had a heart attack. I go, and he's telling me about the video. I go, that video was under my mattress in the very back on the wall, like under sheets.
Not under the bed, under the mattress?
I don't. It was tucked so
It
far
was
away
hidden.
because I'm like, oh, I don't want anybody to see this. I look stupid.
But that was our mom. I remember one time when I worked as a case manager, I was living with mom and dad, and I worked late, and so I slept during the day. And I remember I wake up and there's mom at my dresser going through my mail, and I'm laying there watching her for a minute, and finally I go, "Did you find anything interesting, Mom?" She goes, "Oh, I'm just cleaning up in here. This is a mess in
I know
here."
you never think about it. But you look back and it's like, our mother is really nosy. I mean, she's like, she would. You knew that Mom was going to go through all your stuff, and screen all your calls. If anybody
Yes.
ever called the house, it was like, "And who are you? And what do you want with Greg?"
Yeah, I remember when all those girls would write us from camp, and mom and dad would want, "Who's this girl?" Well, it's probably an 11-year-old girl or something, because that's all that like the Chestnut Boys were.
I know that's the thing. It wasn't, Mom, there's nothing going to be there.
And
We have no exciting.
what got mom found out too was I was called Eminem at camp. Remember that? And mom didn't know what Eminem meant. And so one day I come home and someone had wrote me a letter from camp, and it said to Eminem, and then inside they said, "How's the Mad Mooner doing?"
Yeah,
and mom's like, oh, well, and once again, be sure your sins will find you out. Yeah, well, you were snooping through my letters.
Yeah, I mean, she would go through, and we had good friends, members, good evangelist friends that come through, and this lady would go through she would read all my mail too, but okay, so that was
we're getting
her,
dad to try and
mom
date
would
her.
go, "I can't believe that. Oh, that lady is so snoopy," and that is like, "Yeah, Mom, yeah, I can't believe it either."
Yeah.
Somebody be like that, read all somebody's mail and go through their stuff.
I wonder if Robbie
Even
and
though all
Reba,
that mail is stuck in in a sock drawer on the very bottom.
I wonder if Robbie and Reba ever did that with their kids. It had to be
I
hereditary.
don't know, but I'm thinking that's why me and you are corrections officer.
Yeah.
We're so used to that, being shaken down.
Yeah.
We're going to shake down somebody now.
It was in our blood. It was our revenge for all those times. We were really good at going through all the inmate stuff and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
And who's this? And what's Eminem?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, so anyways, let's talk about so we talked a lot about camp on our show and everything, and you were the first one that worked at camp.
I worked at the prestigious Bill Rice Ranch,
That's right.
14 years old,
I forgot about that.
and I was one of the main preachers there.
Yeah, right.
Or examples.
No, yeah, I washed dishes. This is like child labor. These people were abused. I mean, it's like I swear I worked 14 hours a day in a hot, sweaty dining room, a kitchen, washing dishes and, preparing food and stuff like that. And I'm like, I thought this was going to be fun. Yeah, about 1 hour a day. And then, of course, I had a lot of energy, but I'd go to the pool and stuff, and that's back to the kitchen. But anyways, I heard a lot of good preachers. That's a good thing, because I usually by the time I got done washing dishes, I could got there in time for their service and stuff.
And Billy Renstrom and Paul Levine and
Pete Rice.
Pete Rice.
Okay, and I heard John R. Rice, Jack Hiles, a lot of other good evangelists. Those are the guys I think. And of course, I thought Bill Rice Sr. was really, that guy. Of course, I went there as a kid at junior week and stuff, but he had such good stories.
Yeah.
And everything was and then Bill Rice III, when he preached to it. Junior week was better than senior week. I thought because they had everything illustrated.
Yeah.
That was like they'd bring in horses and have a story about in the Bible, and it was just all really good. And it was like kept your attention for them to keep a junior's attention was like really good.
Like he was telling a story about being with a bull, and I remember sitting there wondering if he's going to die or not. While he's telling the story. But they were really good with junior week.
He brought in one time this horse that had she had two twins. Okay, it was a twin colts. Okay, and I don't remember, because I was probably 9, 10. But he was talking about how somehow this was a miraculous birth. He's this is like 1 in 3 million horses does this ever appear, but these twin horses had something about them that was I guess I can't remember it again, but it was like one was half black, one was half white or something like that. It's just their coloring or something about them. And so they were just really unusual. And he talked about that. And then, of course, he talks about Christ's birth, how that was the miracle, or something like that. Anyways, as a kid, it was neat because they were really good horsemen, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because, this was a concrete floor. He walked horses down a concrete floor that was at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
And, bring them up on stage and ride them up on stage and stuff. And, so all those people were really good horsemen. And, like he and Dad knows this. You'd have 100 horses out in a pasture somewhere or in a corral, and they'd send 100 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and go, okay, go get your horse. And then the kids are running, they run in the back of the horse, they're climbing on the horse and stuff. And Mike knows this from being at the Hoosier Hills. It's a miracle
that they didn't get killed.
That no horse ever kicked them, bit them. These horses were like
they were very tamed.
Well, yeah, these people worked with them,
We
now
would go
on forward to Hoosier Hills, and I'm like, how did anybody ever not get killed? Because they have. I'm not going to mention any names, but they always found the stupidest counselors or workers to work with the horses.
Hey, wait! I worked with the horses one year.
No, I don't. Well, yeah, it wasn't the year that I was there. And it's like, why would you get that guy?
Yes.
Okay, and so some of these guys would have the horses so worked up by the time the first junior week there was. It's like, oh, these horses. Anyways, they didn't know what they're doing. And,
there was times that we couldn't ride because the horses were too.
I don't know how many times I'm saddling on a horse and another one, a hoof comes just like you feel the wind of the hoof. You turn back, that horse just almost kicked my head off. And you're like, okay, we're going to send the juniors in there, but I was very cautious. It was like,
well,
and of course those horses were, you remember when they get hot, it didn't care. You weren't going to run those horses. They would sit down, and the biggest one, was Tori, was the mother.
Yes,
she would say, okay, because they'd ride an adult and two juniors, one in the front, one in the back with her. And then on a hot day, she'd like make maybe 2 runs or something. And she's like, oh, I'm done with this. She'd sit down. And then what was funny was all the other horses go, yeah, me too. And they don't sit down. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the horses are done.
And then I remember the one dummy that we had go. He's trying to kick the horses, get them back over. Oh, I wouldn't do it. Don't do that. No, they're done.
Yeah.
Let me get kicked.
And me and Greg were lifeguards at Hoosier Hills too, and it was always fun when someone would find the Babe Ruth bar in the pool.
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't know if I ever found that, but there was some. There's some
Tootsie
kids. I
Rolls
think that's the only time
and all
that they ever took a shower all week was,
yeah,
in the pool.
It's like throw some more muriatic acid and chlorine in there, Doyle.
Doyle did that, man. Yeah, that pool was burned your skin off.
I got to clean these kids because it was like a big toilet junior week.
I know. Yeah.
So Greg, I need you to clarify some stories because me and Becky fight on these stories, differ on these stories.
I know he's not going to pick one on.
Okay, now.
Well, no. Why would I do that?
You ever been around the readers? This is how you just put this in.
Yeah.
It's like when Mommy tells a story, Rella tells a story, Robbie tells a story, and Reba tells a story, and Roy, or anyway, they would all tell the same story. At times, you'd hear them separately. You're at Christmas, you hear Robbie tell a story about a situation, and then you hear, and you've heard Mom, you heard Reba tell a story about it, and then Roy or Roger, it's like, but they were always the hero of the story. So
Yes.
the other person was always like, and then I rescued them from that, and then you're like, well, my mom says she rescued. Oh, and Reba says, you're like, what's the real story? It's like a sitcom. You ever see a sitcom where the person's telling the story and they're the hero?
Well, that was always fun, and the story always got better every time they told it. So when they would tell it the next time,
Well,
it's like-
especially Mom would tell one.
Mom did that.
She was very cool.
Yeah, she was very animated and very
so when you watch us, these
like you don't-
Greg has not even watched any of our episodes. Can you believe that? That kind of hurts us,
No,
Greg, a little
I
bit.
drive a truck all day. I actually work.
Well, Greg, you can actually listen to them. We have it on Spotify, so you can listen to us. Wouldn't that be what you'd like to do while you're driving? Is listen to your brother and sister?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, now you're gonna hear the
Yeah, that's great. Slurp right in there. So, do you remember? Becky denies this, Greg, but do you remember Becky?
I know
And
what you're gonna say.
oh, what am I going to say?
And Dad lied about it.
No,
No,
Mom did put your head through the against the bang your head against the wall,
You make
I
me
can-
mad.
and I felt so bad about that. You're like,
No,
oh
you
yeah.
didn't. You didn't feel bad. You sat behind Mom and laughed like.
I empathized with her. You. It was like, yeah, he said.
We won't tell that story. So, Becky and the UFOs. Becky says she.
Okay, let me tell you what it was.
Oh, now she's gonna.
That's the story. I
Becky
saw
never looked at
TT
you.
Yeah,
Banks
wait,
on
were you in
highlights.
the Inquirer? Is this
Yes.
story you put in the Inquirer?
And then Dad came in and he goes, I don't know what that is. And he
You
was
heard-
looking
you
at
heard
it.
the
And
sign.
we're watching it. And then Dad figured out that what happened was the flight path changed. So it had moved closer. So the airplanes were coming down lower and we could see their headlights. And everybody, and even Dad's been giving me a hard time. You know, Roy, that he said
See,
Was-
Dad agrees with me.
that Becky came in and said it was a UFO. I
Becky
never
said it was
said- I
only
said it
one time that
I
she
said it
stood
was
at
a
her window and
chitty
saw a
chitty bang
UFO.
It looked
Only
like a
one
car.
time.
It looked like a car in there.
So, Greg, look at Greg's face, Becky. Look at Greg's face.
And I'm not saying that Becky's wrong. It could have been a UFO. See, people say, "Well, wait, we got all these sophisticated cameras now. Why don't we see people take more pictures of UFOs now? Because the aliens know that we got more sophisticated cameras,
That's right. They know.
so they are keeping a low
And they
profile.
disguised
And they,
that-
plus they
Well,
got
and
the
Becky
cloaking,
never has a good
they
phone,
got
so she
cloaking
can't get 'em.
devices that thwart our technology.
Well, they made it look like a car. They made it look like chitty bang
a
bang.
car that's flying.
Becky. So,
I had that video too when my kid, but I used to get a crack out because Nathan always would sing that song, but it wasn't
I
chitty.
know.
It was-
I know.
Yeah, sing that song again.
well, I know we have to edit sometimes when Becky talks on here because
Yeah, right.
not me. So, anyways, but that was one of Becky's stories. And then we haven't really told Mike's story though.
Let's talk about the
Well, it's nothing to tell, Mike.
you're a liar and a brat.
I was not
Right.
a liar
You
and a
dropped
brat.
hammer and kicked the door.
That
Oh,
was
Mom.
true. That was a
You
true
did.
story.
I can't believe they believe,
I had an
That's
ingrown
why you-
toenail. Remember that?
Yeah.
And the hammer fell on that. And
you kicked your foot back to miss it and put that
And
hole
then you
in the
went
big
back
door
forward
in
and
the
then hit
door.
the-
And those paper thin doors anyways.
Yeah.
Remember those things?
So his foot went through that one door and then the other door, and he told Mom, "Oh, I dropped the hammer and it bounced."
let me
And
tell you,
Mom
that
goes,
story
"Oh,
worked
Roy,
for
that hammer
25
bounced."
years before I got in trouble
I
for
know,
it.
'cause
Okay.
we never. I'm not gonna say this. I was like, you believe that story?
I told Mom. I told her. I mean, she was
I remember
her
though.
baby.
You don't believe that the guy who stamps his foot and
I didn't stomp my foot though.
put his
Yeah, you did.
No, okay, wait. I remember the one
But I
time Mom
remember we
made me
never
go
told
down
Mom-
the stairs.
because
When you're mad, you'd go.
we knew
I
that
think
Mom
you
would
still do it.
we knew Mom would find that
Last
would
number.
see that hole or whatever in the door. So Mike preempted us and he ran up and told her, "Mom, because he knew we'd tell her, hey, he kicked the door because he's all mad." So he preempted and told Mom, "Oh, my toe hurts because I dropped the hammer on it. When I dropped the hammer, I kicked it." Oh,
And I had it good because I had the hammer still laying there.
I know you worked it up and you had
worked
your
on that.
story.
You worked on that story.
We
yeah.
didn't,
Yeah.
She
And
didn't
Mom
ask
and-
for any backup. I mean, to confirm your story
Mom and Dad
because
would
you were the
leave.
baby. Hey, Mike.
Mom and Dad would leave, and they would tell him,
Of course, later on, as you
me
got
was in
older,
charge.
she realized that you are not telling the truth all the time.
We cannot
Yeah.
disparage our mom like that.
Well, it's not disparaging. I don't blame her one bit. For,
You were saying,
It's like-
Mom, I can't.
That was when we were at Marquette Manor, and I waited until Monday morning to give her all the test papers to sign.
well, here's the funny thing. I don't know if for that or after that, but you had been. They caught out at school that you had been signing the.
Dad's stamp. Didn't he have Dad's stamp?
Well, yeah, but before I found his stamp, I was
He was.
doing
putting
it.
Mom's name or something on it.
And then, of course, my teacher though was Harney, who was used to be a Chicago police
Investigator,
officer,
huh?
so he
Yeah.
probably took it down to ballistics and everything and had it checked out.
No, I don't think it's ballistic. They got handwriting. Don't you watch Law and Order?
Greg, but back then, ballistics was a lot more different than today.
Wasn't a gun.
Went back in the Stone Age.
But anyway, so what are some of the other stories that what were some of your favorite stories, Greg, growing up? Do you have any?
What was that time I rushed in that burning building and saved those kids? I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not the kind of guy that brags about stuff like that.
You didn't get the cat.
I don't want that out.
Yeah.
Nobody even remembers it.
You didn't even save the cat, though.
No, he took that after mom. Last time I saw that cat was going out the
No, I don't
door.
remember anything.
Well, there was a time where Princess kept getting pregnant.
I remember the cat. Remember the time that Mike ran into the church? So it's like on Wednesday night or Sunday night or something like that. And the cat had been missing. Okay, but anyways, so this is probably like Wednesday night. Kids all go out and play in the parking lot. Everybody says, "You don't watch out in the parking lot. Don't you be running in front of the cars and stuff." So a bunch of kids were out in the parking lot. Of course, I was probably like 13. And Mike's probably about 9 or however old, Anyways, so Mike comes running to the vestibule and all the parents are there, and he goes, "He's dead! He's dead! He got hit by a car! He's dead! He's dead!" And all the parents go, "Oh my God!" They run out of the building, and they're going, "Who's?" And they come in, "Who's got hurt? Who's hit? Who's hit?"
I know because they grabbed me and were
They
like,
got one of the kids
who
got hit.
was it? Shiner!
Well, you kept
Shiner
saying-
who? Shiner who?
Well, you kept saying either,
He's dead. He's
and
dead.
you were saying Roger or Jerry. I can't
Yeah, and you go, "He's got
I think
hit."
it was
I
Jerry.
think
You
you
go,
said
"He got
Jerry.
hit by a car."
Because Jerry was
So
with me.
Brenda was like panicking.
Well, I just remember that, and then
And it was the cat, and everybody went.
And
"Oh."
Dad found out, and he's like, "Oh, goodness. Greg, go get that cat and put it in the dumpster." So I had to go out there in the road, the shovel, pick up the cat.
All the men are
Put it
around.
in a
and everyone
dumpster.
did it.
Greg always got the good jobs.
But Mike was everybody always thought Mike was cute. But that time everyone was like, "Oh, I'll kill that kid. He made me have a heart attack."
That whole church took off out in the yard.
Well-
Yeah, that's what I say.
One of the things that scarred me growing up was, so as a kid, I had a big behind.
As a kid.
Oh, that was.
That was harsh.
You were like a cartoon character.
No, I was that.
Because
For,
this little 8-year-old boy like this or 9 or whatever, and then birth a big butt. It was like you. I mean, if the chestnuts got some blood in them, that's where your genetics went right there, man. I think your butt's smaller now than it was then. I know it is. 'Cause
Well,
I don't know what happened.
Graduate.
You just,
I-
and it wasn't so much. It was like a people would stare. You remember one time we went to a water park or something. We went to this big slide and stuff. And
Yeah,
Mike would put this thing around the thing the mat around him so that people wouldn't stare him. But everybody go,
See, and no wonder I was
And
scarred.
it was always sticking out. When you went by the kitchen, you know how that mom had that little Debbie on that cabinet with it,
The corner shelf
and it was always filled with little Debbie's.
with
And
the
everybody
lazy
go-
Susie.
I don't care. Whenever I went by that kitchen
that's
door,
where his
Mike was sticking his butt sticking out. It was like,
That's where all the little Debbie cakes went to. Was my bottom.
I don't know. I never see. Only other person I've seen like that. You remember?
don't say that.
Kid, no. Oh, that's in there. Anyways, one of Mike's buddies, when they were a little kid, they must all have been eating the same stuff because that kid also, when he was little, now they're all thin now. I mean, well, Mike, but that kid is just thin, you know. I mean,
Who was it?
It was like when he was a little kid.
No.
It was like,
No.
what happened?
No.
Will he ever grow into that?
Was it Roger?
Probably.
No, Roger is.
We don't care about saying Roger's name.
Roger is big.
True.
We can say anything about Roger. You're good.
I was just saying. It must have been what they were eating at that time or something.
Greg's best friend growing up was Steve Smith,
Yes.
right?
Born the same day.
Pretty much.
Were you born on the same day?
Steve was very glad to know me, yes.
Was he? So what things did you guys get into?
Nothing. That's why I hung around him, because he's just like me. We were outstanding individuals that we, you know, always
What, Becky?
were helping old ladies mow the lawn, stuff like that.
They're talking in code.
Don't say nothing.
Ty?
Yeah, we were both tithers, I think. I don't remember this one. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
What? Now you gotta
Slightly, I
share
don't
it.
remember much about it though. I just remember.
Becky, you share it, and then Greg will jump in.
I don't know if they know about it.
I just remember I found
Well-
out where one of my ties
Yes,
went.
he was missing his favorite tie.
Right?
That's
And Mom and him were looking everywhere.
Well, Mom probably.
And Mom was looking everywhere for it, and they were all, you know, he wanted to wear it. And then they went to this funeral, and when Greg said, "Mom, come here. Here's my tie."
It was on.
yeah. So Dad had, since Steve's dad wasn't, you know, a snazzy dresser, didn't have. Anyways, Dad offered to, you know, give him a tie with the suit. Oh, here, I got a tie for you.
Here's
Yeah.
Greg's
Couldn't
tie.
give one of his own. Yeah.
No, well, they all had gravy stains right there.
So that's why you don't loan Dad your ties, because it may not return. If it does return, it's going to have.
It might be in a casket.
Of course, I can't say anything. Somehow that's in our genetics now.
Yes. Greg, you know, and Tammy lived together for a while at our house.
Oh my gracious!
What?
But I know Greg was a snazzy dresser. Or maybe
Oh, look, this is her way of changing subjects.
No, I was saying that maybe it might attract Tammy to him, but you saw them red, white, and blue striped
Well,
pants.
she wanted that
Okay.
chestnut boy. She got him. We need to interview
Well,
her
can you
next
blame
and
her?
find out how
I mean-
did that work out so well for you, Tammy?
She's shaking her head no.
She's still hanging around.
She's still hanging
Push her around
around.
just like a booger. She's still there.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun vacation this week,
No, I mean,
isn't it?
You know,
Fix that, yes.
sometimes you marry your stalker. That's how it happens.
Well, that's what I did. So, anyways, and then what people we need to tell more stories. So what are
I love how he's.
I know he's
Well, I'm
slurping
thirsty,
it.
man. You brought me and we were saying, oh, yeah, we're going to have some hamburgers and French fries.
Yeah, we're.
Well, we tricked Greg into coming over here so we could captivate his
I'm
knowledge.
not hungry. I'm hungry.
Well, you remember Dad, where every time Dad's sitting over here to the side. So every
Yes.
time that Mom would come home, Dad's saying, me and Greg had him down pretty well because Rella, I haven't had a thing all day to eat. I'm telling you.
No, really. And I was on a diet, but it made me sick because I get weak when I don't eat.
Yeah.
I get weak and I get these. I don't know. I just.
I don't know.
But I'm not normally sick, you know. I don't.
It's like
I'm
Dad.
not-
It's called hunger. You're getting hungry because you haven't eaten. That's what.
I can say I said it.
I remember I was I'd mowed the whole church lawn one time. Dad was sitting out drinking coffee, and Ray Cunningham, I think came out and was talking to Dad. And Dad goes, well, Pastor, how you? And Dad go, I'm just worn out cutting this grass all day. And I went, you didn't cut the grass. I cut the grass.
But Ray didn't know.
And Dad's like, you can see Dad. Dad goes, well, it's a full-time job just watching you, making sure you do it. So we have Dad and Greg with us. I don't know where we're going to go with this. What, Greg?
Well, Dad's got.
Dad has an agenda. He's a pastor. Right.
Well,
He's organized. And
The three-point outline.
if you hear any clicking, it's all the dogs running.
I listened to them make the previous broadcast, so I thought I'd just straighten some things out. Greg was talking about having seen necktie on a dead man, his necktie on a dead man. Well, one Saturday, Rilla took me out shopping. She bought me a brand new suit. She bought me a shirt and a tie to match it. And Sunday morning, I got up and took a shower, got my suit on, got my shirt on, but I couldn't find my tie. At that time, Greg was my song leader. When I got up to at the church service to introduce myself, to open the service, I looked around and there was Greg with my tie on. Brand new tie.
Never worked.
Yeah, but I bet the score, if the score were revealed, you won. You might not have taken all my ties, but they were somehow you cannot get the spots out of ties. You could throw them in the washer, then they become useless.
I know.
Oh,
You knew when Dad
yeah.
wore your tie because there's always a
No.
gravy spot right there.
Yep.
Well,
It's
If it's
good.
down far enough,
It
you can
started
still
out
wear
being
it. but
a-
you
hey,
gotta
I was saving that for lunch.
That's disgusting.
But let me tell you one about Mike.
Oh, great.
We lived in the parsonage in Boulder Hill at the time, and we moved to we about to finish the new parsonage by the church, and we bought a new washer and dryer and a new refrigerator. So I'm standing at the door shaking hands with the people that's coming out the door. A couple people had already gone out. Bobby Lightfoot came back in and he says, "You better check on your son." I said, "Which one?" He said, "Mike." I went out there and Mike had taken them boxes, those refrigerators come in, had set them up and made him a toll booth. He was charging people toll to get out of their parking lot.
I know. I got Gil Bays to cut me the hole out of the thing and everything, and I set it.
And they paid him.
And I folded it up and put it behind those bushes there.
You're
And-
so cute.
and then when
What
church-
did you say?
What? 13.
I think you're about to.
Yeah, what was funny was I remember I got the idea because we had gone to Chicago and I'd never been in downtown Chicago, and we went through a toll booth, and I was like, Dad said, well, people give them money. And I was like, when I saw that box, I was like, I was an entrepreneur.
Well, I was there. I was there one night, maybe a Wednesday night or a Thursday night. Greg had the skits. He had a frog, and he went through the skit with this frog. And how you get saved, you die and go to heaven. All that. I don't know how it was now, but anyway, right at the end of it, he threw that frog down the floor and stomped it.
Miss
Oh,
Doyle was so mad at you.
I didn't stop it. The kid was supposed to stop it, and he couldn't do it. His
Imagine.
10-year-old
Kid couldn't kill the frog.
Yeah. So I put it on the floor and I stopped it, but I don't even think I could kill it.
Oh.
The thing kept popping.
Oh,
You know what's
wow.
funny?
I don't wanna hear
Chasing
about
around
it.
the
You know what's funny? I
And after that, the rule:
could
no
kill
more
anything.
killing animals. And
Well, I interviewed
Production.
Pat Milligan and his boys, and they were like really young back then. Now I know what they were talking about because they were like, wasn't there a skit where you guys killed a frog?
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were talking about Pontius Diaz. Now I know.
Yes.
Okay, Joel Milligan, that's your story.
I got in trouble.
You did. Miss Joel was
No,
mad.
what's that?
Yeah,
Stomped a
Brother
frog.
Doyle was putting up the inner layer before we put drywall on. He would put up OSB board. So me and Roy Readers come up the hill, and Doyle was with us. Miss Doyle was writing the checks out, and she says, and she always called him Brother Doyle. I don't know why, but she said, "Brother Doyle," even though it was her husband. I never heard her call him anything else. "Brother Doyle, how much is that SOB board?"
She didn't like that board. Mom got after one time. She goes, "How is it in all your illustrations? You're always the good guy, and everybody else is the bad guy." He did one illustration one time of, that one where he always does where, she says, "Why are we so far?" And
Why were you what?
I'm way over the, when we first
Yeah.
married, you were here, and now you're.
Over there by the door.
When we drive, you were sitting here, and now now you're sitting all the way at the window, and she says, "Why are we so far apart?" And you say, "I've never moved." She said, "Why are you always God in your illustrations?" Everybody else?"
And we was taking the radio broadcast down to the radio station Saturday morning, and I said, I looked over and saw Rella sitting all the way next to the door. And I told her, I said, you used to sit right here. And I said, well, look where you're sitting now. She said, well, I said, well, Rella, just think about it. I haven't moved. And I use that for an illustration about how God doesn't move away from us. We move away from him.
Oh, you are such a great Baptist preacher.
Christ always told stories about us.
I said this once before, but my favorite was when one time we were sitting, the teenagers, we were sitting up front, and we started laughing. And Dad goes, Mike, what's so funny? And I was like, no, Dad, I'm sorry. I'll tell you when we get home. He goes, no, if it's so funny, I want you to tell
Share it with
everyone
them.
right now what happened.
Share it with the.
So I went, okay, Daddy. Someone let a stinker. And one of the old ladies that were sitting up in front of us had tooted. And, we were teenagers, so and that's like, well, it's not that funny. Well, the whole church is dying laughing now. It's like, well, everyone else thinks it's funny.
I remember
So,
when Becky was born.
Now that we're back,
We gotta pause for a minute.
we have to. You know what? We should let Greg. Greg is here on vacation with his wife.
Oh yeah, this time.
The same with his wife. You guys are on the condo at by the beach, right? So they're enjoying.
Hungry right now.
They're hungry right now. So we're gonna go do what the chestnuts do best, and we're gonna go.
And then the next episode,
Eat.
we're gonna do one with Dad.
Okay.
We're gonna do
Yes,
an episode with Dad,
yes, we'll do an episode with Dad.
like it or not.
Yeah, Jeannie Noble, we're gonna talk about you this time.
Yes.
So all right, well, bye everyone. Thanks for watching us. Greg, say goodbye to all our fans. We got a lot of fans.
Ain't you guys gotten something better to do with your life?
No, they don't.